First time I saw this was at the Columbus Magic Fest. The first time I ever met this guy. It was in 1962. All right, it was the Columbus Magic. He don't remember me, because I was just a quiet, shy kid in the background. Okay, but I remembered him. Columbus Magic Fest was a great convention for my day. I used to take a train from Rochester, New York. All the dealers, he'll bring back some memories for him now. All the dealers had their wares, showed their wares in their own hotel rooms where they slept.
Sure.
They kept their clothes. They just opened the door. All the fourth or fifth floor were all open, all the doors, and those were the dealers. Don Allan, Horace Marshall with the flowers.
That's still done at some small
Horace Marshall,
conventions.
remember him? Jay. Jim Swolger used to do the beautiful ball vanish with on the string. Remember Jim Swolger? Bring back memories. I'm sure for you too. And I'm in Jay Marshall's alcove there, his room where he's demonstrating, and this guy walks in. He says, I didn't know who he was, but I'd watched him work earlier with Al Schneider. He and Al were good buddies. And
How many years ago?
Warren Stevens. I'm talking 1962. Maybe 1959, 60, around in there.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 59. He was hanging around with Warren Stevens and Al Schneider.
What was your level then, Larry?
So wait a minute, let me tell you this. This is a great story. He was great. I'll tell you how good he was. I didn't know. I'm standing in the, and he pushes by me. He's as big as he is now. He says, where's the table? Let's put a table out in the hall for the close-up guys. We got no place to work. You know, how impressed I was. I remember that conversation to this day, 30 years later. And I don't know who he is yet, but I'm standing and I'm shy. You know, I'm very shy in those days. But I'm loving magic. You know, I'm eating it up. You know, and I won't do anything. I just want to watch. You know, watch everybody. So Larry comes in. Jay Marshall. Jay, because he knew everybody. I don't know who he was, but they all knew him. He says, let's get a card table out in the hallway here, so all the close-up guys can have a place to do something. We want to do some stuff. So Jay calls somebody, got a card table out there. So he sits down in the middle of the hallway with Al Schneider. And Al does this beautiful ball base routine, long before I invented mine. First time I seen him, where he ducks the shell in his pocket, comes back out. A beautiful, well-worked-out routine, so you can hand the shell, the cake thing out at the end with the shell. Oh, it's great. And he's doing open prediction, and I think out of sight, out of mind stuff. I didn't know what the hell he was doing, but I was entranced by his card handling and his coins and stuff. So I'm following him around, but I'm too shy to go introduce myself. I'm just watching. I want to learn as much as I can. So the next day we go over to Jen Grant's studio. Jen Grant and Bob Nelson had shops just a couple blocks from each other. And every year I did the same thing. Spent all Saturday afternoon at Jen Grant's, and Walt Rawlins was lecturing that day in the back of Jen Grant's studio. And he's stacking his charcoal lumps with a tomato can, and he's doing his beautiful broken restored rubber bed. I remember every damn thing he did. Gumdrop, trick with gumdrops like Ramsey's uncarving out of the beans, only with gumdrops. I remember every fucking trick. It was 30 years ago. That's how impressed I was about all these guys. And he did some Harry Lorraine tricks, and he did that, see. And Larry's up at the counter in the front of the room with Warren Stevens, and Warren's doing this linking dice that I showed you last night. This cute Warren, that's Warren Stevens. He's just doing that. And Larry's doing something, and then Carol Fox walks in and does some and I'm just having a ball. Of course, by now I'd ask around who's this guy, you know, and who's different. And it was just wonderful. But that was my first encounter with Walt Rawlins. And,
but you didn't meet Larry.
I talked to him. Well, I don't remember. That's as much as I remember. That's remember pretty much for 30 years ago.
But you didn't.
I don't remember how. We never met or talked till I moved to California. And I'm at the castle. My very first night at the castle.
I need to send you a letter I got from Bruce just before you got to California.
First time I ever walked into Magic Castle was 4th of July weekend, 1967. I walk in, I sit at the bar. I recognize the professor at the end of the bar talking to Tony Giorgio. Giorgio was doing, I didn't know who he was, but he's doing these Ed Sullivan impressions. Tony was on, the world's a stage for Tony Giorgio, you know, but I don't know, who's this interesting, he's a crazy guy, you know, he's trying to impress Vernon with these Ed Sullivan invitations. And they had a lot of little close-up round tables in the gallery in those days. And Bruce, who I didn't know who he was, Bruce was sitting at a table by himself shuffling cards. Ron Wilson was there, so I'm meeting all these people, but I didn't know anybody yet. I hadn't talked to a single soul except they let me in the front door, so I'm talking to the cocktail waitress. I said, that's Mr. DeLand over there. So sure. would you like to meet him? I says, yes. So I walked over, right away I said, Mr. Vernon, I'm a friend of Art Altman's at Syracuse. He says, Art Altman? Oh, gee, any friend of Art's is a friend of mine. Come on, have a drink. So I sit down with Lou Lancaster. Larry's not there. Lou Lancaster and I sit down. Now, Lou took a liking to me right away. And I started doing the zero shuffle. Well, I had some technique that Ed had showed me. It was a different technique that nobody around the castle was doing. All of a sudden, everybody talked, hey, come see this kid doing his shuffle, shuffle. Except Bruce wouldn't come over. So Dave wouldn't come over. Because Bruce is telling Dad, don't never mind him. So Dave's listening to Bruce, you know, he just said hello to me and then walked away after the Art Altman thing. So then Lou Lancaster, then Tony Giorgio stuck up. He was, Vernon, come over here. You gotta see this kid. Come here, come here. So Vernon comes over and sits down. And I did the shuffle and nods. I did a couple of ace layout tricks or something. He apparently approved. So I asked Mr. Vernon, I said, Mr. Vernon, would you do a trick for me? I'd be honored to see one trick by you. So you know what he does for his first trick for me ever to see him do? Gene Fennell spelling the aces. Now this was the range back then. This before it ever come out.
No, it was the range.
Yeah, but can you imagine a self-working fucking trick by a master? How much it blew me away.
But the principle is.
Yeah, but it was before Gene put it out. He did it ahead of time. Yeah. That was my first trick ever to see him do, and listen, I'm in my glory to Magic Castle. My first night, everybody's befriending me except Bruce. So then Vernon puts his arm around me. Hey, come here, let me meet this other kid. Come on over. So Bruce wouldn't come over, so Vernon takes me over to Bruce's table, which was in the corner. So I wouldn't do nothing. I felt the vibes right away. I didn't know who this kid was, but I'm feeling a little intimidated now, but not too much. I'm feeling pretty confident now because I'm getting some respect from people I admire. So I don't, you know, and I'm not really nervous. I got confidence. I know what I can do. I read all the Marlo material, everything. So, but I was doing one. Vernon got mad at me though. I did a couple of tricks on doing this hit double lift. He said, "Don't do that Marlo shit. That Marlo shit. Don't pick up a card." Well, of course I listened to it. First time I ever met Vernon. You know, that fucking Marlo picky shit. First night I met Vernon.
That brought you back to reality.
He's 72 years old and he's spunky as hell in those days. You know, I met him and he had a great time. Don't do that picky Marlo shit. And that's all I knew was that Marlo shit. You know, I've been reading it for 20 years. All his books. I don't know nothing else. You know. Because I had met guys like him.
That's a direct.
I asked Bruce to do a trick. So the first trick, Bruce does one trick for me. He does 10 gives 3. Yeah. But you know, he holds the card out. He thinks this is so clever. I didn't see the card, but I know he's got a card on there. The gambler's cops a card. You know, he thinks, oh, I'll get this smart ass kid, and he plays like that. Smug Bruce, you know. The fucking hand is dead as a mackerel. I know he's got a card there, and I'm thinking, well, that's pretty clever. He's been in the corner of the card like that. That's pretty clever. I didn't say nothing, you know. And then he uses that shade for his 10 gives 3, which he put. That's all the trick he did. I didn't want to talk to him anymore, so I went back with the Lancaster. So Vernon gets up. I'll be right back. I want to make a phone call. Professor goes to the phone. He calls him. He says, I didn't know what he was saying on the phone. He tells me later, Larry, come on down here, you gotta meet somebody. Larry comes on, I'm sitting at the bar. Larry comes right over, hey, how you doing? You know. Well, I already knew who he was because I'd seen him at so many conventions before, you know, and of course his reputation reading the Genii, I've been reading the Magic Canas, and about Charlie Miller touting him and all this, and the chop cup and all shit. Now, he's intimidating me because I know how skillful he is, but he's such a warm, lovable guy to me. Right. It ain't bad. Now the first trick, he said, do a trick. I says, would you do one for me, Larry? So the first trick he does for me, he has 2 cards peeked the way he used to do this. The 2 selections brought down, and I don't do the thing like he does, but I'll let him do it if he wants to do the effect. Maybe they'd like to see it. He cuts. One's reversed. He does this thing. The second one's reversed. First trick, perfect. I'd never seen him do that move. It's beautiful. I knew whatever he did, I'm gonna love anyway. So we sit at the bar, and Vernon comes over. Now he starts talking to Vernon. He ignores me for a minute. He starts talking about Vernon about Wilbur, the string man, who I didn't know who he was talking about. But he's got Wilbur's work, and he's fixing it for Wilbur. You know, Vernon, I got all this stuff together. I got the harness, and I'm enthralled, trance. I don't know nothing about this stuff. It's Jesus, you know, Vernon's talking to him like he's a son.
This is inner shit.
He's talking about Wilbur, the string man, who's an interesting character too. But anyway, Larry's fixing his machine for this guy, or maybe it was the professor's machine you were fixing.
Oh, Wilbur's.
Anyway, so this is all my first night. This is 1967, July 4th weekend. So that was on a Saturday night. The next afternoon, he's lecturing at the castle. Larry's giving a lecture. Now I really am realizing how worthless I am when I see his first lecture. He must have spent 1,000 hours in this lecture. And I don't find out till later that he used to practice the Hen Ping Chen back in Detroit until he wore a fucking dish out in the center of the table, slapping his hand on the center of the table tens of thousands of times until he wore a dish to practice the Hen Ping Chen. I was thinking, man, that's the way to practice magic. 20,000 times on each move. That's the way to practice. I never seen nobody like that. And of course, the work showed it. All the stuff he did from his first lecture, I was watching. I was sitting there. So, but Vernon likes me already from the night before. So I'm doing one trick a day that he had forgotten. And I'm doing all around the castle, which is this.
Yeah.
This
Vernon-esque.
Yeah, Vernon-esque quickie in Cliff Green's book. Well, he forgot it was his own trick. I said, Mr. Vernon, this is your trick. I says, I love it. He says, do that for this guy, do that for here, do this. Lou Durham, come over here, do my trick. He says, this is mine, I don't know, but do it, do it. You know, like, and I did it 6 or 7 times, milling around the room after his lecture, see. So I'm feeling great, and of course I'm so excited from watching the greatest magic I've ever seen. And so then Larry says, well, you know, why don't you stay, I don't have to go back to Las Vegas for a while. I was living in Las Vegas at the time. I was just in there for the weekend, so I quit my job. I just out and stayed a week. Okay, I was checked into a motel around the corner in Highland. But Larry says, come on in with me. So he and Nina was just wonderful to me. You know, just stay with me a few days. So we're at Larry's house, and Larry's doing the 10-hand dailies, all this daily stuff, the 10-hand stack, and all this block transfer shit. And I don't know nothing about this. I read it all in Marlo's trilogy, but it don't look like this. It don't look like this. Marlo's all stripped out, worked this, all pushed through. I shit this up. You know, I never look like this. He's doing Bruce. He's doing. Percy's Le Carte Diaconus and all this shit. Man, I'm in seventh heaven, see. I did one thing he liked that evening, you know, was the fact the cigarette.
Oh, yeah.
Nina, come here, Nina, see this. I can relive it every moment. That's how
that fooled me.
So he says, hey, we got to get you a place to live. So the apartment right next to Vernon was vacant. It was in the Castle Park Apartments, right behind where the parking lot is now. It was vacant. So let's take this. So it was a kind of ramshackle, beat-up place. So I checked in there. No furniture, but there's an old beat-up, water-soaked couch outside the door, which had been rained on for weeks. So Larry says, let's use this. So Larry hard it inside. I don't give a shit. At least I got a place to sleep. And I lived there for 9 months.
Next door to Vernon.
Just hanging out. I didn't work. I saved enough money from Xerox from back east. I didn't have to work. I just hung out with these guys for 9 months. Finally, my money ran out, and I had to get a job.
The magic shop.
Yeah, and no, not yet. First I got a job at the Kirsch Company in Commerce, building Travis rods, and I got fired for doing card tricks in the warehouse after 3 weeks of that. Now I'm fucking out of money though. What am I going to do? So I'm walking down Hollywood Boulevard, and I'm walking to Hollywood Magic, and Kelly Green, remember Kelly Green? Had just quit. He was an ace demonstrator for Louis St. Pierre, and just quit New Year's Day. So timing is right. I just happened to walk in the shop and I heard this guy, Kelly Green, who I'd been watching demonstrate, had quit to go to Hawaii. So I says, gee, Mr. St. Pierre, I says, I've never done work like this, but I'd be happy as a lark if you give me a chance to work here as a demonstrator. So he says, sure, start tomorrow. Nah, I'm in really fucking heaven. For the first time in my life I'm doing a job, I don't give a shit if it pays 2 cents an hour. I'm happy for the first time in my life. I take all these pack of tricks home to my apartment and I'd practice them so I could demonstrate them the next day. I wish I was working 18 hours a day instead of 8. I couldn't get enough. Well, a year and a half of that, I realized I wasn't paying the bills and the fucking novelty wore off, but I had a great time. Then I quit and went to work for Joe Berg. Yeah. Joe paid me almost twice as much, but
you had to put up with
Ronnie Berg. I couldn't put up with Ronnie Berg. Ronnie, his son, would put me, Ronnie's the boss, and when Joe's out there, he says, Mike, go in the back and make paper, tissue paper hats. He says, I'll do the demonstrating. Ronnie wouldn't let me demonstrate any magic. He wanted to demonstrate the Glorpy. He always sold fucking Glorpies, 10,000 in a week. And that's all he wanted to do is demonstrate Glorpy out there. He wouldn't let me demonstrate it. He put me in the back room, making stripper decks and paper, tissue paper hats. Well, I got tired of that after 6 months, but at least I saved my money. Then I quit and I finally had enough nerve to go out on my own and start doing shows. And I was living with Maria, the opera singer then, and she gave me confidence. Oh, you can do it, Mike, you can do it. So then my big break came when Peter Pitt got me a job booked on a cruise, 17-day cruise to the Caribbean. Then I was the Farragut boy with the cruise company. They say I'm the best entertainer you ever had. I can come back anytime I want. Like,
When did you and I first?
The agent tells me that if I ever want to go back to this. But then my whole life changed. And I'm going to show you this. A little game from Hanky Poo. The black for me, the red for you. 3 cards. Ace, a 2, and a 3. A 3. Ace, and a 2. Now when I move these cards around, all you have to do is pick out the ace. Now I'm not going to make it too easy in the beginning. But I'll do it with one hand. Watch the ace. In your opinion, I'm sure your expert opinion, which one would you say would be the ace?
Simple. Right.
It's a 3. 2 and 8. But I'll give you a second chance. I always think you should have 2 chances to do things like this. The name of the game is always the same. It's called Follow the Ace, Watch the Ace. Which one would you bet on? The ace, that is.
Middle card.
It's a 3. But I'm not through. I'm going to give you a second chance. I'm going to third chance. I'll make it even easier this time. We'll eliminate one of the cards. 50-50 chance now, Roger. It's just like flipping a coin in the air. Heads I win, tails you lose. Which one's the ace? It's 3. Just select one, please. Look at it. Now, I won't look at the card, but just say stop. We'll place it back about quite about here. There's your card. Now, to make this interesting, we'll cut the card into 4 packets like this. Pick them up, jumping packets in this fashion. Now, it's quite easy to find the location of your card. Ernie, all I have to do is add the values of the top and bottom cards together, and that'll tell me how far down in the pack your card is. There's 9 and a 5. 9 and 5 are 14. Now, I could hand you the pack and ask you to count down to the 14th card, and if that was your card, that would be interesting enough, wouldn't it? But that, again, is not as expedient as it could be. It would be more expedient if I could reach down and cut off exactly 13 cards and hand them to you. Then we simply have to turn over the next card, and that would be your card. Again, the top card is a 9, bottom card is a 5, that's 14. If I hand you 13 cards, which is right there, you may count them, and the next card is yours.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cards, and the 14th card, the 2 of hearts.
2 of hearts.
Selection, right?
I want you to, you can hold the pack in your own hand, or I'll hold them. Bury some cards here. I want you to cut off a block of cards and flip them face up on the pack like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then cut deeper than that, go further down into the pack, which is a free position to cut to. And we'll spread these over, and the first face down card you come to, which would be a selection you chose yourself, would be the first card we take, which would be a free selection. So, get rid of these. Just cut off a block of cards and flip them face up on the pack. Just turn them over. That's right. Now go deeper than that anywhere you like. Turn those over. All right. Now that's fair. Now let's take the first card that you cut to, which will be right here. Put these here. This is the place you cut. Well, let's make it more interesting. Make another cut next to here, anywhere you like. And make another cut next to there, wherever you like. Okay. Now, you cut those packets yourself. You could have cut 10, 15, 20 cards. There's no way we could have known, because that first cut, as interesting as it was, you must agree, a free cut. But what makes it interesting is, say, look, you cut a couple of aces here, and a couple more here. Just cut off about what you think's equal to there. Just kind of eyeball it. Estimate what you think's about equal to those sides. Well, that's a little heavy, maybe 4 or 5 card. Make another cut here, Tommy, and see what you think's about equal to the first back.
Okay, a little light there.
A little light, but maybe more equal. One more cut here. Make another cut. So we have just 4 packets of cards. All right, good. Now you cut those packets yourself. And I'm not going to touch them. Would you turn over the top card of each pile?
That's pretty
Now, that's the best method that I've ever found. You cut the pack into 4 packets going across, just like you had me do. All right. Now nobody could know the top cards of those packets because you cut them random. Not only that, we couldn't possibly know how many cards were in this packet unless we're going to count them. But I'm not interested in how many cards are in each of the packets, Tom. I'm only interested in the top card of each packet. This one, this one, this one, this one. Maybe you see you like this now. If Ed did this, it was great and fooled me completely. I mean, again, if you'll cut the pack into 4 packets going across, approximately even, try and make them even. Now, again, we couldn't possibly know those cards, top card. You cut this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. Yeah, what you do is bridge the deck upward to the back. Leave the aces flat. That way you don't have any work showing in the front. Or shouldn't be any. Take it out of the front. You just got bridge back. That way the aces are flat instead of being curved, which would tip it off.
That's a better idea.
Yeah.
See,
Well,
Harry Lorraine's got that to catch an ace, and he does the bridge the opposite way.
Anyway,
That's
You can
better.
see it a mile off.
yeah, you don't want to crimp the aces because then you can see it. But anyway, that's all the work you want.
Mm-hmm.
But then I take it out once out of the front, and that's still enough to be handled lightly. All right, so now I keep the work by holding the bottom block, bottom stock, by shuffling it face up. That doesn't disturb the work. Now you cut into 4 packets approximately going away. I want them over on this end. Now they're splayed a little bit there, so I would just square them up just a bit, so there's no hook up on the last packet. And so then you take the last packet of your aces are here. Pick this up very cleanly. I'll jog this halfway. Very cleanly pick this up. Now I start talking. I say, there's no way we could know those cards. And of course, usually they look up at this point. You just grab all 4. Come here. These go flush and you come back out with the 4. Hold these at the outer corner. Set these down. And you got 4 clean cards here. Let's just startle it. I was brought up on a farm, town in upstate New York. Kid used to play the pocket knife. Still got the original knife. Used to play mumbly peg with. Game we all played as kids. Did some whittling at the time. Of course, in the evening when I'm dressed in my tuxedo, might be more beneficial to have a white knife. Doesn't show any dust, rust, or marks. Obviously, you need 2 knives to do this. You need a blue one here, and I need a white one over. Where it's over here. White one over here. They make a nice contrast, as you see, the white and blue. Blue here and a white. Oh, white one over here. One thing you never want to do is touch the knives together. If you touch them together, you're going to get two blue knives. I don't know what the heck I'm going to do with the blue knives. I'd rather use a white one and a blue. No, I don't have the matches ready, but I reach in now and take out a pack of matches and a couple of knives, and I do decapitation.
Oh, you don't have matches for that.
Then I leave both the knives out there, and I just use one for the heavy matches. So
God, I wish we had.
but then that's my follow-up, is just to reach in with the same hand as the two knives. But then it plays well. See, I reach in with the same hand with the two knives, got the knives out. So remember, Harry Blackstone performed many wonderful illusions back in vaudeville. He worked the Chautauqua Circuit, the Keefe Orpheum Circus, and of course he sawed a woman in half and floated the lady in the air and turned the red silk green. But one of his most amazing effects was called the Decapitated Lady. He actually cut the head off a woman and restored her right there on the stage. Of course, it's too gruesome to see this on television today, and I won't do it tonight, but I'll show you by using a match basically what happened. By cutting the head, we'll say this is the head of a woman, the white head, off of her like this. That's crumbling here, but it's all right. As long as we get the head off of there. Same thing on this side. And of course now we have in essence a decapitated woman. Green. And he would utter the magical incantation. Sin Sullivan. Sin Sullivan. Here's the way I'm finally presenting this little sequence here. Anytime I see a pack of matches, no setup or nothing, just pick it up. Say since there's three of us here, we're going to go with 3 matches. 3's a lucky charm. Bernie, would you choose one?
I'll choose the odd one here.
I knew you were going to say that.
I knew you knew.
Of course, if you chose that one, I would have said I knew you were going to choose that one. Let's extinguish the rest of the book. Now I'll loosen these so they'll cool faster. Pretty well burned out, but we're not going to use these. But I have 2 live ones on the table that haven't been burned yet. Now perhaps you've seen David Coppertone on television when he links these solid bands of steel. Well, I'm going to attempt to do the same thing with matches. Watch. Now, when I was 5 years old in kindergarten, I had a difficult time with numbers, counting to 10. But fortunately, my kindergarten teacher was an amateur magician, and by using matches, made it interesting for me and taught me how to count to 10 by using matches. This is what he showed me. Do 2 matches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, I was a thick-headed kid, and I just didn't get the idea, so they say repetition makes firm impressions, so we thought we'll do it one more time. Counting to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Finally, the idea sunk in. But then it was a recess bell rang. It was time to go out and play. I played baseball at the time. I was always interested in baseball. They made me a picture right from the start, so we just pitch these matches, and if you open the book, look, check again. Try and pull them out. They're stuck. Try and pull them out. Anyone here interested in art, painting, sketching, or drawing? Well, then if you do, you may be able to use your imagination and recognize this is not, for the moment, is not a pack of matches, but a miniature artist easel. And here we have 52 famous paintings. Now, if you know anything about the history of playing card, you know they were painted by the Italians centuries ago and painted by hand. Each card were given as gifts of royalty to monarchs and royalty of Europe as gifts and presents. Common people could not afford or were not privileged to have playing cards many centuries later. So in essence, we have here 52 famous paintings in an artist easel. Now, to make it interesting, what I'd like you to do, I'll mix these paintings up, and we'll drop stacks of them onto the table, and you just say stop whenever you wish, and I'll have you select one of those paintings.
Stop.
Should I drop these or keep these in there? Whatever.
Oh, you can drop them.
Anyone, okay. As you take off one of the paintings, where you stop to look at it, remember it, and then sort it back into the stack wherever you wish. All right. Remember, this is our artist easel. I'm going to select my favorite painting in this collection of paintings would be Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa. Here she is, represented by the Queen of Spades, of course, would be the Mona Lisa. We'll place the Mona Lisa on the artist easel. Would you tell us for the first time which painting did you select?
It was I guess Guernica by Picasso.
Which represented by
The Two of Hearts, I believe it was.
Two of Hearts. They say that two hearts seldom view the same painting the same way. Card magic and science fiction are very closely related. They both rely heavily on your sense of fantasy and the flight of your imagination. There's a classic science fiction movie called The Invasion of the Body Snatchers. You recall back in 1956 with Kevin McCarthy and Dana Winters. It's a story about aliens which descend and emit these large pod-like creatures 6 feet long, and they split open and people come out and start taking over this small California town. I'm going to allow the tens to be the population of this small California town. Some will go face up and some face down. We'll let the jack represent the pod creature. You can see the leafy shoots already beginning to grow. Now it's a soft, sultry California evening when suddenly, out of the darkness, a spaceship descends. Out steps the pod creature. He walks down the street. First person he comes across is a derelict lying in a gutter. He roughs him up a bit, and suddenly he's gone. Somebody sees this happen. He runs to get the cops. But before he gets half a block away, they tap him on the shoulder. And he's gone. Sometimes they attack in pairs when you're not looking. If you're not looking when they attack, it's too late. It's all over for you. It's still 1, 2, or 3. Sometimes they attack in pairs when you are looking. If you are looking when they attack, it's still too late. It's all over for you. It's 3. Now there's always a Scarlet O'Hara in town. You can tell who's Scarlet. She's gone with the wind. And there's usually a drifter in one of these movies. He really doesn't belong in a film. He's just passing through town. But as he passes through, they get him. Now we're down to the hero and heroine. True blue and loyal. It's ladies first. It's curtains for her. Now Kevin McCarthy. It's all over with the shouting for Kevin. Now, they made a sequel to the movie about 15 years later with Leonard Nimoy and Donald Sutherland. Neither one of them won an Academy Award, but it's called The Invasion Body Snatchers. Now, I should have a code on this. Should be I have a code, but which I might say. In addition to the jacks, I have 4 ace of spades. Will you hand me 4 of the jacks to go with the 4 aces?
Jesus fucking Christ. I'm out of
Give me
here.
any 4 you want.
Yeah.
But these will be fine. Okay. Now modern jazz aces. There. What's his name? This is the way I do it now. You got to use 4 of the same card for his effect, or you can't get the same. You can't get the right effect if you don't. And since you're going to use 4 jacks anyway, you might just as well use all ace of spades because why go halfway? You might as well.
Right.
So that's the only way to do it to really get the effect. You got to have 4 of the same card.
Rather than jokers?
Yeah, and rather than like Darwin does it out of a pack, two eights and nines, it's no good because this is so much cleaner this way. Watch it this way. Now we'll place the aces out here with T formation, spade of 4 aces. Go in a T formation like this. I'll begin by placing one of the jacks down here with an ace. Jack goes with an ace. You see why this is
I'm sorry.
Because now you can show why you're missing the game, but you can show this every time you place it in. You can 1 ace with a jack, 1 snap twice, making it twice as snappy. And now, oh yeah, they really are. They really don't. Just 4 jacks, the ace is gone. And of course now the ace appears here. I'll do it again. We'll place another jack with the ace, another ace, the jacks. Cover for a second. 1 jack, 2, 3, 4. And the ace is gone. It is. Now it appears here. Once more we place the jack with an ace. An ace with a jack. Jacks. Aces. But the 2 work well, and this gives me a reason for
A reason for them to examine the cards,
Yeah,
sure.
the wild card is no good unless you can throw some cards out at the end, because as soon as you put that packet of small cards away, people, their suspicions are confirmed. You know, and any packet trick, all my packet tricks I've worked out to toss the cards out.
Sure. And even better, you got a reason for them
can't
to
put them in your
examine them.
pocket.
You
Yeah,
know,
you
because
gotta
some
have a
people are
reason.
too polite.
Yeah, you can't just say
You
you're
know?
examinees. You're hitting them all.
Why on earth should they
But
do
this
that?
way, you say, hand me 4 of them jacks.
Yeah, that's
them
nice.
jacks. You know,
Yeah.
and grab the ones they want. So that's how they worked it out.
Oh,
And
that's
But the
ingenious.
script that's written for the wild card is Peter Samelson. It's not my script. It's just that I changed all the vanishes around to make it. He vanishes different way each time, but a lot of them are weak. So I use his best vanish, which there is for a double-faced card. Is a double lift, and then a double lift and double-faced card is the best way to vanish. You know, the opposite side of the card. So I just use the same one each time. But that's all there is to it. This is another example of how you can take 3 separate effects and blend them into one routine. You play pinochle at all?
Oh, not a damn thing, Mike.
Well, you are aware of a pinochle pack being different.
So smaller, like 32 and...
I'm not sure how many cards are in the pinochle pack, but
Yeah.
there are 2 of each card, I think, from 9 up to ace or 7 up to ace. Anyway, here's a portion of a pinochle pack. I just have the aces here, 2 of each suit. I'd like you to think of one of the 4 suits: diamonds, clubs, hearts, or spades.
Got it.
One. Right. Now the backs of the cards are the same design, but they're different color. We have 4 blue ones and 4 red ones. Now I'll keep the red ones here. Hold out your hand for me, palm up. We'll hand you the blue. 1, 2. Place your other hand on top, just to keep them covered for a moment. I have the reds. 1, do is wiggle the reds over the blues like that, and a strange manifestation takes place. Did you see one red penetrate through your hand? Look, I only have 3 reds. Raise your hand. There's a red one among the blues. Now that's interesting in itself, but if that's the red card you were thinking of, that would be remarkable, wouldn't it? Yes. Which suit did you decide on?
I decided on the spades.
The spade. Did you decide on the spade?
I didn't.
Well, let's see.
Maybe
Yeah, that's all right. No, I want you to see there's only 1 red card among here. There's no extra red one, so I've committed myself. There can only be 1 red card. We're not sure what suit you decided on. Let's see. Which one? Oh, shit. I went the wrong way. I forgot which suit I was working with. Anyway, that should have been...
I changed my mind. I should have done
Okay.
that. You were picking up those earlier.
Yeah, okay. I didn't even do it. I didn't have to shoot the count. Anyway, so it should always be, of course, the one we did.
That's number 1. That's number... So there wasn't this a combination?
That's the first offense.
That's the
Yeah,
first.
okay. Now, remember when you were children, we all played a game called Follow the Leader. You know how you jump up in a picket fence and walk across and you dare your playmates to follow behind. We all played the game as children. You can play the same thing with cards using just the colors of the cards. 4 red ones and 4 blue ones. To begin the effect, of course, we keep the cards separate. 4 red cards on one side, and of course the 4 blue ones on the other. Now, as long as I keep the cards separated, they can't jump across or change places unless I snap twice, making it twice in snap. And of course, now over on this side of it, of course, we have 2 red ones and 2 blue ones over here. And over on this side, we have 2 red ones, 2 blue ones on this side. Another snap. And now here we have 3 blue ones. Right here. Of course, over here. 3 red ones and blue. So we have an odd card here, and we have an odd card here. I have to get the blue one out of this packet, and over here I have to get the red out. Of course, if I had some Vicine, I could get the red out. Maybe we won't need that. That should do it. Now over here we 1, 2, 3, 4 blues here, and of course over here 1, 2, 3, 4 reds. Now remember back in general science in high school, we studied a phenomenon called oil and water. Remember that? What is it particularly interesting that happens when you try and mix?
Oh, they separate.
Yeah, well, we don't need all the cards. I'll eliminate a couple of them. We'll just use 3 of each color. 3 red ones and 3 blue ones. And of course, we begin by alternating colors. Red, blue, red, blue, red, blue. So in essence, we have attempted to mix oil and water together. Right? But you can't do that. They are mixed, but you can't fool Mother Nature. If you wait just a second, let them settle for just a moment, the oil always flows to the top. And of course, the oil flows to the top, the water sinks below. Let's do it again. Mixing oil, water, oil, water, oil, and water. So they are mixed, there's no question about it. The red and the blue are mixed. Red, blue, red, blue. But I've let them settle for just a moment. The oil flows. It's 3 oil, 3 This is sticky here. Then I toss them out as I reach in and take these 2 back out. Of course, they grab these before I come out. And then they explain. When Silas Green of Pumpkinville prepared to leave the farm, his father thought some good advice might do the boy no harm. My son, he said, you're going away to that there distant city. You're going to look for wealth and fame. To fail would be a pity. The city's full of slickers, boy, and crooks and gold brick men. They'll steal the gold out of your teeth in the ain't got a pen. Here's a bit of good advice. I know you'll find this true. If you will slick the slicker first, he can't hornswoggle you. But Silas in that great big town was seen in evil places. He met with men who played with cards and girls with painted faces. Some evil men proposed to Si a little gambling game, a simple task of matching cards. Stud Poker was his name. The simple rules were soon explained. Si should have been on guard, but recklessly he plunged right in and bet on every card. A crafty gambler dealt the cards. A slippery cuss was he. By crooked dealing he made sure Si's first card was a 3. The next card dealt was poor yet. I know it's clear to you. There's one card lower than a 3, and that card is a 2. No quitter, Si put up more cash. Thought he, I'll do and dare. The next card brightened up the hand. And Silas had a pair. So Silas bought another card, and Lady Luck seemed kind, but this card also was a deuce. He had 3 of a kind. The best of things, someone has said, are sometimes out of place. Silas found this saying true. The next card was an ace. The gambler who dealt the cards reached out to take the cash, but Si exclaimed in ringing tones, "Stop, slicker! Don't be rash. We played this game down on the farm and in some other places, and I have found when slickers deal, it's well to have 4 aces. To that's all. That kept me out of the army.
But you've changed the handling on that from the original then.
Well, what I do, I'll show you the work so you don't have to bother looking up the book if you don't have it. You got the 4 aces, any tray, and any 3 deuces. And what I did, I mean, what he uses is an overhand shuffle, keeping top stock all through this thing. But it's, when you're thinking about the presentation, you don't want to be thinking about holding in jogs and out jogs, so it's much easier to hold the top stock. When you're using riffle shuffle, you're just better off holding a bottom stock and then bringing it to the top later, because the shuffles are more convincing. So you don't have to think about it. So your setup is the tray on top, then any ace, any deuce, any ace, any deuce, any ace, any deuce, and an ace. So you got an 8-card stock. 3, and then the aces and deuces alternating. Now, I have those on the bottom, underneath the crimp card. That's how I start. Now, I got 8 stanzas of the poem to recite before anything happens, so it's much easier. I never have to look at the cards. If I just hold bottom stock, you can be so convincing. And then when I'm ready for the first production, I just slip half the deck and make a clean cut to crimp card, and I've got the tray. Now, you want the second card as a double, so you don't have time in the stanza to do any false cuts here, because I worked all this out. If you start screwing with the pack, you're going to run out of line before you have time to get their double ready. You want that 2 to land as you say 2. So you don't have time, so I just get set for the double, and the first 2 comes up. Now you still don't have time for the next card to do any false shuffling here. All you got time for is a slip cut before you reach that next 4 lines of the stanza. That gives you just enough time to make a slip cut and your next double. So it hits at the right moment. Your timing's got to be right on the pattern. The same with the next one. So the most expedient thing is simply the slip cut, and you get set for your double. After your 3 deuces, your three doubles and your 3 deuces, you slip cut. You can use a table slip cut here because your last card is an ace. It's a single. Take the ace out, turn it down. Now I want to set the pack off to the right so I can clean up that tray as I pick up the pack. So you say the last line is, the gambler who dealt the cards reached out to take the cash, but Si exclaimed in ringing tones, "Stop, slicker, don't be rash." Now I flash as I say, we play this game down on the farm and in some other places, but I have found when slickers deal, it's well to have 4 aces. To be, that's all.
I love this trick.
You ever been to England, Tommy?
Uh-huh.
When you think of England, you think of being a tourist of England. What are 2 or 3 famous landmarks you would consider seeing on your first trip to the British Isles?
Oh, you'd go to this Tower of London, you'd go to Stonehenge, and I imagine you'd go to the Palladium and see the Beatles.
Maybe Buckingham Palace.
Big Ben?
Speaking of the Tower of London, I was going to say the Tower of London. What is it? What's special about the Tower of London? What's at the top there?
Big Ben.
Big
clock,
Ben, as
clock.
he just said, right? The one, probably the most famous clock in the world. Well, I can't fly to England right now, Tommy. Well, let's use our imagination and pretend we're in England and looking at Big Ben. We're standing at Piccadilly Circus and we're looking up at Big Ben. And I want you to imagine you're looking at the clock face. Naturally, it looks like any other clock face. You've got 12 hours, 1 to 12. I want you to think of one of those hours.
Okay.
Now, to make it interesting, we'll use cards and make it more graphic. I'm going to turn my back. I want you to take off from the top of the pack the number of cards equal to the hour that you happen to be thinking of, and then hide those cards so I can't see how many it has. You can sit on a number, stick them in your shirt, or whatever you like. Just get rid of those cards equal to the number.
Let the camera know.
Have you done that? They're out of sight?
They're out of sight.
All right, now I'm going to manufacture a small clock dial here with the cards. We need 12 hours, so we use 12 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 12. Now, so this faces you. We'll say this is 1 o'clock here. This is 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So once again, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay?
Got it.
I'm going to turn my back. I want you to look at the card on the clock dial corresponding to your hour that you're thinking of, wherever it happens to be. Look at that card.
Show.
Okay.
All right? Put the card back.
All right.
Now, I want you to take the whole clock dial and sweep it up and put all those cards back in the deck.
In any order?
Yeah, put them all together in the deck. Just put them back in the deck. Anywhere in the deck.
Okay, we've done that.
Including the cards you removed in the beginning. Put those in the deck too, and you can shuffle the whole pack if you wish.
Okay.
Done.
Ready? Yep.
Yes, go ahead.
Concentrate on the hour, not the card, the hour you're thinking of.
All right.
3 o'clock and the card is the 9 of diamonds.
Correct on both counts. You got a monitor back there or what?
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, that's something like. Of course, we're all going to get a copy of the tape up. I mean, Larry's taking so much grace. Everybody is so much.
Are you going to explain that one?
Sure. Anybody got any clues first?
Can we reconstruct?
Well, think about this. I think this is the
Well,
most
you know.
direct clock version of clock trick there is. Well, this isn't my idea, but I called it out of an old magazine, and I think it's the best version of the clock trick that I found. And this is all you got is one key card. What I did while you were sitting over was pencil dot the 9 of diamonds. I always use a 9 of diamonds, pencil dot it so that I will always remember which card I pencil dot. So I always make it the same one. I don't know where it is now. And all you do is here it is. That's on top. Now I just add any 12 cards on top of that. 3, 6, 9, 12. So your key card is 13 from the top. So you start your presentation, and if you think it adds something to it, you could give them a bunch of them and have them shuffle it first. But I never do it that way, and I don't really think it's necessary.
Links the trick for no reason.
It's a little
Really,
too much
it's just too
procedure.
much. You're overselling. So I turn my back and I say, take off a number equal to your hour. So whatever you want it to.
6 as an example.
Let's say you take off 6 cards. I don't know how many he has. I have no idea. Now I use 12 by reverse counting 12. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 12. It automatically sets the set of. But I start my clock at 1 o'clock, not at 12. Your first card is 1, and all I do is I lay these down and look for my key. As I count, there's 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's my pencil dot right here. 6. Now I have all the information. It's all done now. Is that before I even finish
So
making
you're
the
going to tell
die?
them to look at the time that...
Right. I'm going to look at the time. I know it's 6 o'clock. It's the 9 of diamonds.
Yeah.
It's forced right into it. You know, I guess we all know the best kind of magic is the type of magic just pick up anything off the table and do something with it. I have like a soda straw here, for instance. We'll do this. I want you to know I have no glue or preparation on my hands. Nothing. We'll use not the straw, just the wrapper. Watch. 2 pieces, left side, right side. Left, right. 4 pieces, left side, right side. Left, right. By the way, did you read in the paper about the guy that lost his left side? He's all right now. Now, magicians, of course, usually have a magic wand to do most of their work. I use the magic wand. Publish as a precursor, but not picking up the wand to clean up. What I didn't think of it at the time. I didn't work this out till after the magazine was published. What I do is, and it's still the best way to do it, standing up. If you're away from a table, you can do it standing up this way. After the transfer, oh, here, let me show you the lower.
What's the setup?
Let me show you the setup. You almost forgot the best part of this thing. Work one of these out. You don't need the straw, first straw. Take a second straw and just break it open off one end. Lay it out there like that for a second. Now you take the closed end of the straw and make tiny accordion pleats. The straw like this all the way down to the end.
I knew there had to be a thing.
At least you suspected as such. But you didn't see it. You didn't see it.
Laddie.
Laddie, you didn't see it. You didn't see two paper. And your twist is like a little bullet now. This goes in the end of this straw, halfway. Now, work this paper back in the cover. Just toss this on. If there's other straws, toss it in there. Oh shit. But otherwise, I just have it. I just have 3 or 4 of these already loaded in my shirt, in my coat pocket when I do this at work. That's skips. Not quite there. This paper shouldn't split. Oh shit, it's falling on it. Anyway, that stays in there. This doesn't happen with the straws at the nugget. Wedges down there real tight, and I can walk around them all night long, 2 or 3 in my pocket. It never falls apart. I take one out and I set this down like this. And I draw attention to my hands. Nothing between the fingers. I don't say that. I just say no glue or preparation on my hands. I use that line a lot to show my hands absolutely empty, and that covers that. And I just pick this up. Nip this as I draw this off. Now, if I'm going to do this standing up, it doesn't matter where I put the straw, as long as it's off to the right. If I'm going to do it sitting down, I'll lay this over the edge like this. But for standing up, this would be here, anywhere. I'm going to basically the Leipzig presentation or the preliminary handling of the torn and restored cigarette paper with the clever line. I think it's cute about the left side, right side. You don't transfer, you still clip between the first 2 fingers. 4 pieces. Now you nip this here, hold everything right here. You can show it all around on all sides. You cover it from every angle. Then you use this transfer move of Leipzig's. And if I'm going to do it standing up and I'm not going to lap the pieces, then I would just over it like this. See, now I use the straw a little later when I'm going to need to borrow your ring, and I put the straw in my pocket. Do a couple other things and then say, oh, remember I said I'd use this straw. May I borrow your ring? Now I do that. That's for standing up. But for sitting down, this is clean. So much cleaner.
Very well worked.
And I worked out after I published the precursor thing, so it's a current issue that's out now. But this gets a better reaction than the torn and restored cigarette paper, because it's a natural thing, and this is a much bigger surprise to produce that than a square paper. used to watch a lot of westerns on television back in the 50s. We had a lot of cowboys like Hoppy. Who remembers Hoppy? How about Gabby? Well, they used to sit around a campfire late at night after shooting the bad guys in the black hats all day long, and they kind of kick off the boots, drink their java out of a tin cup, eat their grub off a tin plate. They kind of kick off their boots, sit back and roll themselves a nice smoke out of Bull Durham. Now, some of those clever cowboys can actually roll a cigarette with one hand. I've always found that fascinating ever since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. It's Western talk. So I've been practicing to do the same thing. Use a rolling paper. Get my tobacco. Just try. By the way, you know, cowboys can ride at night now. Did you know that? They have satellites. Rolling a cigarette with one hand, my way. More than one way to skin the proverbial cat, as they say. And now, I usually don't light it because cigarette smoking is so unacceptable.
Especially in a restaurant.
In a restaurant. The only time I'll light a cigarette for a trick at a table is if somebody else is already smoking. I look and see if there's somebody smoking, I find it's okay to light one to do the thumped advantage. But if there's nobody smoking, I will not light one because then I lose my audience right there on the smoke.
Yeah.
But what I can do is a couple other things, vectors, and then the moon. So what I do is, and this is Timmy Conover's presentation of this, which is clever. I say, Timmy, you see the word camel on that cigarette? I'm going to cause the word camel to disappear from that cigarette. Watch the word camel. Did the word camel disappear? Here, I'll bring the word camel back. Now, I find a way to enjoy a good smoke without bothering other people. Ooh, a couple of those a night is all I can take. Except for an hour now, I'm okay.
It's a killer.
So you got 2 or 3 tricks, you never have to light the cigarette, and you're finished with it. You know, so the production, and then so you got 3 nice tricks, and you never have to light the cigarette. All right. Now you shuffle a deck of cards. It's a well-made. I wrote a prediction on here, lady. I'm not going to show you what it is. We're going to leave it face down there for a minute. Now we're going to deal some poker hands, but we need, let's say 5 players is a good game, a fair game. You shuffle the deck, so you count off 25 cards. Since there's 5 players, they each get 5 cards, but just use the 25 cards that you deal with. All right, let's get rid of those. Now, I'm not sure, but you didn't deal any from the bottom, did you?
No.
No double dealing? You sure?
No, positive.
Well, let's get everybody involved in this and make sure we have exactly 25. So everybody count with me. Remember, he shuffled, he dealt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 cards. Would you deal out 5 hands of poker, 5 cards apiece? And don't turn any cards face up. Okay, remember, you shuffled and you dealt. Would you read out loud the prediction as written on the other side of that card?
You will deal 5 hands of poker, and you will deal the 4 aces to yourself.
Take a look and see. I want to touch the card.
Very nice.
Okay, now this is Ed's trick, but he used the bottom deal count, which is too cozy. I never liked it, and this is much better using this deal. Plus, let me show you the advantages to using this overhand bottom. All right, you're out with the 5 card. You're out with just the 4 aces. And the prediction's out here. He shuffles. I say, no, there's a well mix. There's no way anybody could know the order of those cards ahead of time. So far. So he deals 25 cards. That lowers the ace to the bottom. All right, now I act suspicious like we're not sure there's exactly 25, so let's count them again. Now, the nice thing about using this deal is you don't have to make your first bottom until the 10th card, because I only got a load in 3.
Right.
Because I used the last one as a scoop. That's my idea, because then that puts it at the bottom. So I got to the, you only work with 25 already, so it makes it a lot easier by the time you get to 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then the next one on 5 more. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then this gives you the last bottom.
Now they're set.
Scoop, and now you're all set. And you got the deal.
Sounds good here.
Yes. Blackjack, obviously you're going to need more than a jack of spades, but this happens to be a very ambitious jack. Let me put this down here like that. It's so ambitious that just wiggle our fingers over and of course it rises to the top. Let's do that again. Let me square it off here. Monkey Dory, some magic word for the 80s. Now, to play blackjack, you're going to need more than one card of blackjack will be just fine. Hold out your hand, palm up, on your left hand. Place your other hand on top, cover it then. Keep it covered. Place the blackjack in my pocket. It's called a case ace, but this is called a jumping jack. Now watch the jumping jack. Just raise your hand a little bit. The jumping jack. All right, now shuffle the deck. There's nothing at all magical about this routine as far as I'm concerned. So I had to put a little magic in, so the last card is commercial. The rest of it is certainly not commercial at all. I would never do this for the audience. But it's fun to do. It's one of those things, it's like Larry knows, there's many tricks like that that are fun for the performer, but boring as hell probably for the audience. But if you do it slowly and really sell it, maybe you can keep people from falling asleep for a few minutes. Most 4-ace assemblies require 3 or perhaps 4 or more extra cards placed on each one of the aces. Now I'm cutting that extra number of cards down by using just 3 extra cards. 3 deuces and only the 4 aces. So we have the ace of hearts, diamonds, clubs, and spades, and only 3 deuces, diamonds, hearts, and spades. 4 aces, 3 deuces. Place the aces out here. Oh, they're all part of it. 2 deuces, 4 aces this way. 1, 2, 3, 4 aces, and only 3 deuces. 7 cards, you might call this the 7-card assembly. The aces and only 3 deuces. The ace of spades goes here. The clubs, I mean, the spade and the diamond go on corners of the T formation. So we have the diamond, the heart, the spade, the club, and 3 deuces. Now the object of this experiment is to cause this ace, and this ace to change places with the deuces, but not with any deuces, with their respective deuces. First the ace of diamonds. They say diamonds are a girl's best friend. There's the first one. 2 of diamonds. And now over here we have the ace of diamonds. The ace of hearts is the next one. 2 hearts. And now over here we have the ace of hearts. We place the 2 red deuces over here with the last ace, the ace of spades, so you can recall it. And of course over here I've shown you 3 aces, the 2 red ones in the club, and the remaining deuce, the deuce of spades. Now, will sandwich the ace of spades between the two red deuces like this. The case ace, that hard luck card in fortune telling. But here now we have the deuce of spades, and up here, 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's not exactly the way it does it.
No, I know it isn't. I tried to make it a little more magical at the end by making a visual change and having the ace of spades come out second instead of on top to kind of hide the fact you might have went out with it. Other than that, I think this is a nice, worthwhile way of switching a card to pack. Right here, this is what you do right here. You take top and bottom, put the double in here, then do an Ascanio spread, which doesn't change the face card until now. And nothing leaves your sight. That's a nice change. If you do that at the same time you pick this up, and then take a second so you hide that club. It delays it a little bit. It's just fun to do. I think it's nicely done. It's a well-constructed trick, but it's not entertaining at all for people, I found. I'm not a coin collector by any stretch of the imagination, but I have a few here perhaps you haven't seen for a while. Old Walking Liberty had 50-cent piece and an English halfpenny. Remember, if you haven't got a penny, a halfpenny will do. We call these, of course, Walking Liberty heads because they managed to walk right across our numbers like that, so we call it a Walking Liberty head, 50-cent piece. Watch closely now, because the closer you watch, the less you see, and the less you see, the better for me. Like a mirage, shimmering in the desert breeze, like a ghost, vanishes from the walls of an ancient castle, so that the coin become visible again. Well, now they're working properly, but let's give them another test. We'll use all 6 50-cent pieces this time and the halfpenny. Watch close now. The copper coin, the halfpenny, starts in my right hand along with 3 50-cent pieces. There's 3 coins in a copper coin in the right hand and 3 in the left. Is that right? No, that's left. What's over here? Don't forget that copper coin. As long as I keep my hands far apart, nothing can happen unless I move my thumbs. We say the magic word for the 80s, which is hunky-dory, and of course they go over here. Follow it over here. Now, we won't use the halves for just a moment here. Let's just use the halfpenny and the handkerchief, pocket handkerchief. Place here. The copper coin, the halfpenny, placed in the handkerchief. We just rub our fingers like this, and it just reappears back inside the box on top of the 50-cent pieces. Now the difficult problem comes is to remove the 50-cent pieces from under the halfpenny. Now the halfpenny.
Fantastic.
And you're all reset.
Where's that in print?
2 places.
It's in the
The
Gen
Gen
and close-up.
Art
Magic
Close-Up Magic,
part,
yes.
which was just a reprint of all the Gen stuff. I'm always on the lookout for Helmsley's stuff. I hunt his stuff down wherever I can find it. Of course, it's all scattered through all kinds of magazines and stuff.
Kid
It's
Brooks
mostly cards.
got a neat little routine.
But this is the only thing you ever come up with the
cards.
coin box, and it's one of the prettiest routines with the coin box, I think.
Get on, yeah.
These, I think, will just work. I think they're just deep enough. I present this in the opening part of it, just like I do the other coin box routines where I do the henpeek gen to establish the contents of the box. So look, this is what's left of my evening at the slot machines last night. We all know it's food for the slot machines. Now that's the line. I forgot the line. That's the line. I ask people if they think if they know what's inside there before I open it. It's food. It's food for the slot machines. Corny, but not Las Vegas is not. No, I won't go into the head beach again, but I do the same thing I did for the Elmsley routine. Right, with the ring. Now, so put these back. Let's place them back inside the little container. We'll place these cups mouth down like this and place the coins under your right cup like this. Chuck, do you believe it's possible that I could cause these coins to travel from this coaster over to here without you seeing me do it?
Pretty hard to do.
You're all watching me so closely, it would be difficult to get by. But I'm going to give you a choice, Chuck. Would you like them to go visibly or invisibly across? Your choice. Visibly? I'm glad you said visibly. That's visibly. But suppose you said invisibly. Now I've got to make them go back from here to here invisibly. It's all done. The trick is Ken Brooks, but that's my presentation of Invisible Ink, that was which sells it. He had a thing, I forget what he did, but it was really was a little cumbersome, but I thought such a clever idea for an after dinner trick with a couple of coffee cups, you know.
Tea for two.
Tea for two, it's in his book. Often young children come in for dinner. When they do, I like to have something special for the children. I don't bring this out yet, especially for the youngsters. But since there's really no tiny tots here tonight, some little rugrats, I mean little children, we can pretend we're children by enjoying what the children enjoy so much. So let's all pretend we're little tykes again and we can enjoy magic the way children do. I had a conversation the other day with the Jolly Green Giant. You've seen him with the canopies on TV. Did you notice he has 3 feet? Okay, he's had trouble, the same trouble we all had tying our shoelaces when we were this high. Remember the trouble you have when you go to tie your shoelaces? You're out playing all day, you're so tired after dinner, you go upstairs, you plop on bed, you pull your shoes off, you rip and all this, there's knots in the shoelaces. Every morning Mom has to get a crochet hook, dig those knots out, get you to school. You're just making a time. Every day it's hectic, digging up knots out of the shoelaces. We all recall days like that when we were kids. Well, the Jolly Green Giant had the same problem. Of course, having 3 feet, he had 3 shoelaces. But believe me, when he was a boy, he had the same problem that we all did. I'll show you how I solved the problem for him. Now, to make it easy for you children to follow this, I've used 3 different color shoelaces. But I'm sure he wasn't stupid enough to use 3 different color shoes. But we'll use the shoelaces to make it easy for us to see. I'm going to tie the red and the white together here. Now, if there really are kids at the table, I miscall these colors. The kids get all excited. I call them. Let's tie the brown and the green together. And then they start getting excited. I just ignore them. I keep on going. Same thing on this end. Tie the blue and the yellow together. Just keep on going. I just ignore the yellows. I don't bother with the line if it's only adults there. Just tie the green, white together. I'm going to show you how I do this when I'm standing up. This is clever. Anybody can do this sitting down, but this is how I do it standing up. There we go. And that's the problem we all had. I'm sure we all had days like this when we were children. Poor Mom, she has a job every morning. Now I need an assistant to help me. Young man, would you be my pretty assistant?
Mm-hmm.
Are you right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
With your right hand, if you would, hold on to the end of the shoelace and just say the magic word after me. Hunky-dory. Can you say that?
Hunky-dory.
A little more schmaltz in there.
Hunky-dory.
Excellent. And of course now you have solved the problem for the Jolly Green Giant. Let's hear from the kid.
Very nice, Michael.
Boy, that's one of the best rope tricks. I know it fooled the heck out of me the first time I saw it. And when I'm fooled by a rope trick, I said, that's for me. I've learned it ever since. But this is a small version that I always carry with me. But the regular size ropes is even just as good for close-up. It's a fine principle. This and Professor's Nightmare, 2 standards I've always used for years. I wouldn't drop these if I was working for layman. I just hold on to them, and then I wrap the rope around my hand and pick them up and stuff the whole thing in my pocket, and I'm cleaned up that way. I like to test these cards to be sure they're working all right. Let me test them out here. It's a table ribbon spread. This is a stockbroker's delight. Stock splits. Of course, we all know batteries not included. You ever seen the Polish shuffle? Polish shuffle. Polish cut. Watergate shuffle. Watergate. I do impersonation. Here's my impersonation of a cow in a barnyard. A cow in a barnyard. And now a sick cow in a barnyard. Wait a minute, this is too much. This is a fine restaurant. So say, have you ever been to Niagara Falls? Let me show you what Niagara Falls looks like from the
Canadian side.
yeah, it Falls, I say, from the Canadian side. I use that, but that was disturbed the order. Then, of course, the Revelation at the end I use sometimes, which Eddie Fector used to use all the time. Suppose you had selected the Queen of Clubs. Then I wouldn't say that until now. I'd say, by the way, that much traveling back east? You ever been to Niagara Falls? By the way, what's the name of your car?
The Queen of Clubs.
Here's Niagara Falls from the Canadian side. Oh, almost went over the ball in the barrel. Or over the falls in the barrel.
How do you do that,
reversed
Michael?
the wrong car. This is Eddie Fector showed me this. Bring the car to the bottom, do your crisp reverse. And now you got to kill, there's one flashing point here, you got to kill this. So here's what I just discovered how to do this. You start an out shuffle, so you got just a selection loose on the bottom by itself. Go in, start here. Now here's where there's a danger of leaking, is when you got to come to here with it. And you can flash there. So I do that as I come up to the left and say, from the Canadian side. That way you're blocking everybody out here, see? And it just stops by itself when you go here. Bing, you're left with the last selection. It's a nice revelation. I've always loved the technical card magic ever since I was a kid. I was just like Larry. That's all I did for years was shuffle cards and barrel shuffle cards. And now that I'm working every night, I still love this as much as ever, and I hate not to be able to do this stuff for people. So I think there's got to be a way to present all of these esoterical, highly technical tricks. All you got to do is use your head a little bit, and you can make them love it. It's all how you sell it, as we know. So the challenge I have to challenge myself now, and makes Keep Magic interesting for me, is how to sell all this shuffle work and Pharaoh shuffle tricks and down and under deals and Australian deals, and make them love it, make them really entertaining. And that's my challenge now, is to take each one at a time with all this Marlo magazine shit and make it entertaining. It's a challenge, but it's a good challenge and it's fun. And I've got I've got the stage to do it in every night to practice. So this is the way I do on the water now. Your cards, I know you don't like me using your cards, but
No, you're quite all
these
right.
might be mine. I had blue fan bags, unless they're Tommy's.
No.
No, I have a, what did I do with my card?
Your
Oh, here
blue
they are.
towel.
Here they are.
No, these are fine. No, I just didn't. I thought maybe you're upset because I was using your card.
No.
But remember back in general science in high school, we studied a phenomenon called oil and water. What is it particularly interesting that happens when you try and mix oil and water together, Larry? Can you
They
tell me?
separate.
Why is that? Can you explain?
Well, the
why that
oil is lighter than the water.
Well, that's a cursory explanation. Can you make it any clearer than that? Can you explain exactly technically why they separate?
No,
Does
I
anybody
guess I
know?
can't.
It's the viscosity
Oh,
of the
that's
elements
right. Okay.
composed each other.
Viscosity.
Well, I didn't know it either, but I found out about it, so I can say this. But most people don't know. But once in a while somebody does, and I make them the hero. I think that's right, and then they feel good about it. Well, I'm going to demonstrate this phenomenon of oil and water by using a few playing cards. And show you by using cards, I'm picking out some selections here that will make it clear for you to understand when we use these. Now, I'm going to use the red cards. We're just concerned with the colors of the cards, the red cards and the black cards. Okay, there we got the color. I just want to get the colors right here. The black cards represent oil. These are the oil. And and the red cards represent water. Oil, water. Now I'm going to begin by placing the water cards down to the table. Water cards go down to the table. I'll hold the oil cards in my hand. Oil can't carry. Everyone can't carry. Now, let's see, what am I doing? I got a little blank. Oh yeah, so we'll alternate them. We put down a water card, oil card, water card, oil card, water card, oil card, water and oil. So in essence, we have fooled Mother Nature. We have actually attempted to mix oil and water together, but you can't do that. You can't fool Mother Nature. If you wait just a moment, what invariably happens is the oil floats to the top. And if the oil floats to the top, naturally the water sinks below. Let's do that again. We'll mix them up. We got oil and water and oil, oil and water, oil and water and oil and water. We have again mixed oil and water together. But you can't do that if I let them settle for just a moment. What invariably happens is the oil flows to the top. Now the oil is called black gold. Black gold settles on top of Texas tea. No, it's black gold settles on top of black gold or Texas tea settles on top of the Red Sea. But if I just press things a bit, being a magician, as I like to think of myself from time to time, I'll just press things a bit, and now we have actually mixed oil and water together. Now the agriculture department has developed a method for using the principles of separating oil and water to help the farmers in the field that are trying to separate the wheat from the chaff in the fields. And to demonstrate the wheat mixed with the chaff, let's mix the cards face to face like that, called kissing the pack in some circles. Mix the cards up. And let's really mix them up by giving them a shuffle like this. So the cards are mixed face up and down to this side, and face up and down on this side. So we have face up cards, face down cards, cards facing each direction. My job now is to separate the wheat from the chaff, or in this case the face up cards from the face down cards, with just the cast of a shadow, just a whisper.
That's pretty.
Very nice.
So it's entertaining. I like the idea of showing the four reds and switching the first one and showing it twice, really putting four down. The beginning of the routine at basis is David Solomon's, but I've worked a lot of it around it. I'd like to show you my favorite Wallace card trick. My two favorite tricks of Walt. I spent a lot of time with Walt back in the 60s.
You know, he got to be a congressman or something.
Yeah, and he owned a funeral home, full funeral parlors in
Mayor of his city.
Kenosha, West Virginia. But I spent many hours.
Is he still living?
I think so. I got some letters, long letters from him, but that's 5-6 years ago, so I haven't had any contact since. But hours and hours, all night long like this with he and Eddie in Eddie's kitchen at the Folks Hotel in his kitchen. Showing all kinds of wonderful stuff. And the two tricks that I still do after all these years, now almost 30 years of his, is the one with the little pennies that I love, you know, with the producing of little pennies. The two halves, the two English pennies to the little pennies, that's his. And this card trick, which is a great trick for a magician's convention, but you can also adapt it by changing the presentation for laymen. Have someone mix them if you like. Now, Larry, I'm going to ask you to play the part of a very famous magician. How about Mr. Dave Vernon? Would you play the part of Mr. Vernon for a moment, please? And we'll let Roger play the part of Mr. Ed Marlo. Would you play the part of Mr. Marlo for me?
Yes, I will.
Ernie, would you play the part of Mr. Jerry Andrews? Another illustrious figure in our business, you three gentlemen. You not only have to play the part, you have to participate. So, Mr. Vernon, naturally we'll begin with you. I'm going to flip to the pack like this and just say stop when you like, and I'll have you take a tiny peek at the card. Naturally, I'll look the other way. Just say stop.
Stop.
Remember one?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Marlo, same procedure for you. Would you say stop? Why do I look away? Just say stop as I go.
Stop.
Got one?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Andrews, same procedure for you. Just say stop.
Stop.
Got one?
Yep.
All right. Remember your cards, gentlemen? Believe it or not, you're going to find them yourself in a most interesting way. Mr. Vernon, I'm going to ask you to, we're going to spell your card, but I'm going to let you decide on the spelling. We'll use your name, Mr. Vernon. How would you like me to spell your name? Dealing one card for each letter. We can spell it Dave Vernon, we can spell it the Professor, David Wingfield Verner, the guy, however you want. Let him choose as his name. The Professor. The Professor?
Right.
All right. T-H-E-P-R-O-F-S-E-O-R. Mr. Vernon, what was your card?
7 of hearts.
Sure wasn't it?
Jack, all right, Jack.
Gotta be the Jack.
It was a Jack, I'm sorry, yeah.
All right, and Mr. Marlo, how would you like me to spell your card? Any way you'd like me to spell your name? I mean, by spelling your name, how would you like Ed Malkowski, the Polish Prince, Marlo? How would you? I'll spell your name any way you want me to.
Ed Marlo.
Ed Marlo. Okay. E-D-M-A-R-L-O. Mr. Marlo, what was your card?
5 of hearts.
5 of hearts. Mr. Andrews, how would you like me to spell your name?
Just my last name.
It's Andrews. A-N-D-R-U-S. Mr. Andrews, what was your card?
The 4 of diamonds.
The 4. Was it really 4 then?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Well, if you know anything about Jerry Andrews, you realize that he would never be content to have a card revealed in such a trite manner as spelling. I think Mr. Andrews would find his own card something like this. Over there. Anyway, 4 times. It should have come up on top. I didn't do the last cut. But this, if it's done smoothly, it looks pretty. Here. That's the way it should look. And that's a perfect convention trick. And of course, the laymen, you just spell their own names any way they want. That's Walt Rollins. And that putback move, I thought was original with his, and I got an argument with Marlo that this is in where you put
Sharp.
no, way back. Your future gambler. Where'd you put that?
Oh, the Cardition.
No.
Cardiste.
Cardiste. It's
Cardiste.
rustic. It's in Rustic's Cardiste. I didn't know. I didn't remember. Marlo, of course, knows everything in every book. He says, "Ask Rustic." But all these years I thought it was. But anyway, it's a wonderful adaptation. And the control is so simple. You just reforce the brake 3 times, but force it anywhere, drop it, hold the brake, force the same place, drop it, hold the brake, force the 3rd one. Now you don't drop that when you just cut at it or double cut it. So your first selection is second from the top, second selection is on top, and the last selection is on the bottom. And it works automatically. But the
Show
spelling
the,
is
show
great.
the end. What's
Okay.
the putback?
The putback is great.
Putback is a
I
diabolical.
thought it was Walt. Maybe he got it from Cardiste himself. It was apparently Rustic's. We have to look it up. So you take the cards by the side like you would an Elmsley count. You pinch, you reverse count them. Let's say you want Vernon, just Vernon. All right, V, E. Now these 2 you keep together. The 3rd one, you slide the 2 underneath it. V, R, N, O. And now my right forefinger pushes this on, but I freeze now and just go forward with this, and that's the first selection. Now these go here. Now here's the Marlo's card is next. This is the first card. Now it's even easier with this one because you only got 1 card to move. M-A-R-L-O. Mr. Marlo, what was yours? The putback was perfect. And now it's nice with the Andrews because you do the same thing without doing any move because you don't care what you get. You're going to miss it anyway. So that really, the magicians are burning you like crazy now. When you don't do nothing, they're really worried, like he was. I was watching his face, so then, well, Mr. Marlo, Mr. Andrews would never be content to find a card like that, and these go back on top. Just slip shuffle. Now this is Walt's cut, but I added an extra spin at the end. Here's the way Walt Rollins did it. It's on the bottom. This goes forward, back, around, and he just went there and feel it. But I thought, why not go around the fingers one more time? You get an extra spin there. So you go forward, back, over, here, between, and out. And it gives you that, just an extra spin. It's like Fred Cap's doing the wand spin. You know how he gets an extra spin in there? Nobody can do it like Freddie.
I don't know how
the
he
wand
gets it
spin,
in
he gets
there.
an extra twirl. It's like, it's just thrilling. It gets an extra spin at the end that nobody else can do. And this just gives it an extra impetus. May I borrow that cigarette you have in your mouth there? I'll let mine in the machine. Remember back in the 40s, Chuck, used to be a singer called Phil Harris. Remember old Phil? Married Alice Faye. Was still around. Phil sang a song called Cigarettes and Whiskey and Wild, Wild Women. I dedicate this to Phil Harris. Oh, Phil, baby. Cigarettes and Whiskey and Wild, Wild Women. Now, the American Cancer Society requested I perform that about 8 or 10 times in evening to promote their cause. But I do have a friend that smokes 5 packs a day. There's nothing wrong with his lung. But I'm not a thief, Larry. Here, have one of mine.
Thank you. That's very nice. Good getaway, too.
Marlo
liked that.
loved that. They did that for Ed in Chicago.
They like to get away for the
See
pecan,
one
too.
like that. Yeah, they like that to clean up. Shit. Well, this is Ken Brook's idea. Again, Ken Brook. With the wax.
You lost it?
I didn't have enough on it.
Yeah, you need.
But this is Scotty's great way of bringing in the gaff. I had my own way. What I did is have the spectator put their own nickel on their own pound without me before I go near them. And he puts a nickel on there. Let's say that's a nickel. And I say, what's the date on there? Now I turn over and do this. I say, 1994. Somebody must be forging ahead. So I give me a chance to use the line, but you don't have to be this clever. All Scotty does is when they take out the handful of change, he just dives in and says, here, let's use a nickel. Which is much cleverer.
Put the rest away.
The 4 pennies are here. This is Timmy Conover's idea, doing this and the cap and pencil, the palm up hand instead of the back up hand. Much more natural. This goes to the palm of your hand. I just didn't have enough wax on the eraser. Scotty uses a cigarette and taps it with the cigarette, then puts the cigarette in the gap in his mouth. Which is clever, but to me it's more natural to say, I haven't practiced this, but I got 4/5 to go through. I have to practice a little harder. Now this is Gene Gordon's patter story. Again, another nice rhyming, but I add a lot of moves that Gene never knew about this trick. But so many guys have contributed to this over the years. There's probably some nice subtleties that I don't even know about this trick. Everybody does a version of it. Anyway, I start off with 3 ropes. I say there's 3 pieces of clothesline cord. We examine them, stretch them, make sure they don't stretch or pull apart. Now, we'll begin with the short piece, and next the shorter piece, and finally the shortest piece.
Whose is that?
I don't know whose Gay did it. It's a nice line. I don't know whose it is. Here we go. Once upon a time there were 3 bears very wise. Daddy, Mommy, and Baby, each of a different size. Then came the time to hibernate, they curled snout to snout. They went to sleep in their cozy cave, and just their toes hung out. But something went wrong with nature's clock. What? I haven't a clue. They slept and slept the years away and grew and grew and grew. When Mother Nature found them, she saw with great surprise the toe-to-toe and snout-to-snout, no difference in their size. But Mother Nature can't be wrong. She's really very wise. She quickly flipped them back in time to become their proper size. So, I'm sure there's other. Chuck, you probably have ideas on handling on this. There's lots of handling, but that's
First person I ever saw do
that's
this
Lady
was
D's
Chuck.
idea to yank at the end. That's my finish, shaking them all 3 different
I
sides.
say the first person I ever saw do this
Was that
was
Chuck?
Chuck,
I
many,
believe-
many years
Yeah,
ago.
that's very nice. Whose idea is over the back of the hand? Whose idea is that? Where you lay them over
I've
the
seen
back?
it over the shoulder.
Yeah.
The hand is very slow. Can you talk us through that, Mike? I know it's standard hand.
Yeah.
but-
Well, the
Not
first cute line in,
Huh?
It's not standard handling.
the first cute line in the routine is the short, shorter, shortest. That's great for kids because they start yelling before you pick the second one up, and then you realize, hey, wait a minute, that's cute. Even kids realize that's a cute thing to say, and they all smile. So you start and say, here's a short piece, and then shorter piece, and finally they go on out. Even little kids, it's great because even tiny kids, it doesn't go over their head. They realize that's cute. That's one of the nicest lines for little kids.
Short, shorter, shortest.
Yeah, yes, for a kid. All right, so I just use the standard pickup move. There's many ways to do this. I know Bruce does another version, the Jim Lewis. Anyway, so I just use the standard loop move, as I say. I won't go through the pattern, it's already on the tape there. But it fits so that when you bring the sixth end up, you say all their toes hung out. Now you could use a standard stretch move, okay? And the only thing I like about the original standards is you got this nice drop. I like that bing, 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 third drop. But you pay a price because then you can't do Slidini's
Counts.
No, his stretch. This is Tony Slidini's stretch, which is a very elegant idea because you drop, after you come up with the six ends, you apparently drop them right back down again.
Now there's
You
no
didn't do
adjustment
anything.
after
Now
this.
there's nothing to do. You just come here to here to here and go straight down. I think it's more of a shock than pulling them slowly.
Yeah.
And then I use Chuck's move. It gets up for Slidini's count, which is hooking a little finger between the long piece, dragging this over here, and you do this in rhythm 1, 2, 3, then over the back of the hand. Then I do the loop one more time. Now I'm in for my finish, which is the production at the end. You just lay this, you lay these so that the loops aren't twisted in any way. You want the long middle piece to the right.
Yeah.
See? Now I just pinch these and run down to keep them flat so they don't twist. I bring these up here like this, just to the right of the first three. Okay.
Naturally, you'd be concealing the loop at that point.
Yeah, this is up here.
Okay.
This is up here, okay? I'm holding it here, I'm sorry, you're concealing the loop. My fingers flatten these out so they're flat, so they don't twist. And I bring them up just to the right of the first three and hold them in position there.
Show that to the camera, real good.
That's right. You do it once or twice and you won't forget it. Now, these three fingers of the right hand go behind all the ropes. My forefinger goes in front of the first two and behind the next three and in front of the last one. The thumb holds the ropes in front, and these fingers going back. Now I just curl these fingers, which hide the loop now when I face front. Now I just pinch these three with my thumb, the ones that are in front, the other three behind the fingers. I just drop the ones that are in the back, and drop the rest, and you got a nice production. Bing, bing. Chuck, I want to show you something. I don't know if I have enough money to do this. Let me see if I got enough bills here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. I was at Joe Berg's Magic Shop last time I was in Los Angeles. I walked in, browsed around. I saw this young kid standing in the corner. I didn't know who he was, but he had some money in his hand. So to strike up a conversation, I went over to him. I says, "What are you doing with the money? How much have you got there?" The kid says, "Well, I've got $4, but I'm trying to figure out a way to count them so they look like $8. I want to make these 4 look like 8. So I asked him, I says, "Well, what have you come up with? Let's see how it looks." He says, "Well, you might not like it, but I like it." I said, "Well, show me." He says, "Okay, I got $4. This is how I make them look like 8. I says, "We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I says, "Gee, I don't think they'll pass muster with the company I keep." He says, "Well, have you got a better way?" I says, "Yeah." I says, "I count these 4 as 8 by counting in 2s. He says, "What do you mean?" I says, "Well, 2 and 3 is 5, 5 and 2 is 7, 1 is 8. I'm going to keep the 10 as a fee for showing you this count." And you swear you see every side of every bill.
Can you give us any details?
I'll put it on tape.
Oh,
sure.
I love that.
How to make the money first.
All right, but
Yeah.
you got
Stay tight, sure.
you got 4 bills, 2 regular and 2 cap. You got a regular 10 and a regular 1. All right, so set those aside. Those are regular. Now you got a 5 with a 1 on the back and a 2 with a 1 on the back. Just rubber cement them together. You know how to butt them on the end and flop them over. Okay, so you got that's your setup. You start with all the bills. I start them this way, so it comes out all the same. They all come out the same size and everything. I start all the bills with the heads facing to the right. The 1-2 bill, all the ones are face up. The top bill is the 1-2 with the 1 facing on top. Underneath that you got the 1-5. Next you got the 10 reversed with the green side showing and the $10 letters to the right.
In the Elmsley position.
Yes. Then you put the regular 1 face up with the Washington's head pointing to the right, the same as the top 2. So you got the 1-2, 1-5, a reverse 10, and a face up regular 1. Now, these I keep in a Himmer wallet, although I don't really have any need for a Himmer wallet. You don't switch anything, but because it's convenient, I keep them there. You don't want to fold these bills and keep them in your wallet. It'll split open those rubber cemented bills, so I keep it flat. And you can use your own presentation, but I just put this together in a hurry so I could do the trick right away. I said I was in a magic shop. Well, so wait a minute, let me see if I have enough money to do this. You want to do 2 Elmsley counts before you actually begin the funny count. So I start off by saying, I don't know if I want to show you something, Roger, but let me see if I have enough money here. Yeah, I have enough. Straight Elmsley, last bill goes to the bottom. This is the 1-2 bill goes to the bottom, all right? I say, okay, I got enough money. Let me tell you what happened. It's a magic shop. Blah, blah. The kid says, I've got some money. I'm trying to make this. I says, how much money you got? He says, well, I've got $4 here, but I'm trying to make it look like 8. And that's my touch, the gesture like that. This goes back in the bottom again. Whole time. Now you're ready for this funny count. I'll do it slow because this gets confusing until you learn it. Hold them in the right hand by the right long side. All the Elmsley counts are done this way, almost like Vernon's original twisting the aces count, because it's easier to hide that 10 that way. So I say, here's how I count them as 8. 1, peel off 1, 2, 3, now you push off 2 and steal 1 back. 4, drop the double down, you're killing a 10 there. That's count of 4. Take off the top 1, turn it over. 5, this goes underneath and you switch them as you say 6, that's the 1-2 going down. 7, 8. Now you're right in position to use this one as a scoop. You scoop it up and turn them over end for end in your hand. I say, oh, shake my head, I can't get away with that with the company I keep. He says, well, do you have something better? I says, yes. If I want to count these 4 1s to look like $8, I'd count them in 2s. He says, well, what do you mean in 2s? I says, well, now you slide one off on the bottom. 2 and 3 are 5. 5 and 2 are 7. Plus 1 is 8, and I'm going to keep the 10 from my trouble for showing you the count. This you can fold because it's just a regular 10.
Beautiful.
It's all Scotty. I don't have nothing on it, but I says, geez, I fooled me bad when he first did it for me. This is Atlantic City about 3 years ago, and this is the first time he said, I'll give you that someday, Mike. You know, he teases me, you know. This is it.